In this video we're going to be comparing the brand new DJI Mavic Mini to the DJI Mavic Air. You want to see who wins? Let's go inside. Hello guys and welcome again to a new WetalkUAV video. This is Alex with Chivo on the camera, and in this video, as I said, we're going to be comparing the Mavic Mini to the Mavic Air, and we're going to give some points to see which drone is better for you for traveling. So let's start with the battery flight time. 21 minutes from the Mavic Air versus 30 minutes from the Mavic Mini. So this is a point for the Mavic Mini. The second point will go as a tie because what's the range of both? 4 kilometers, the Mavic Air and the Mavic Mini, so a tie. What about the internal storage of these two drones? Because since the DJI Mavic Air we've seen internal storage in the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro, but the Mavic Mini does not come with internal storage. You're required to use a micro SD. This means, and probably because of the weight, 249 grams, they decided not to include any internal storage on this. So this is a point for the Mavic Air. What about sensors and APAS? The DJI Mavic Air has that famous APAS and has sensors in the rear and in the front for avoiding crashes and, you know, all those things. But the Mavic Mini this time comes without any sensors, but the vision sensors from the bottom of the drone. So of course this must be another point for the Mavic Air. Let's start talking about the camera now, and let's begin with the gimbal. So 3-axis gimbal on the Mavic Air, 3-axis gimbal on the Mavic Mini. The Spark had only a 2-axis gimbal, so it's a tie. What about the 4K? So important to so many people and so not important to so many other people. Well, the DJI Mavic Air does film in 4K, and unfortunately the Mavic Mini does not film in 4K. It films at 2.7K, 30 or 25 frames per second. So a big point for the Mavic Air. What about the sensor size? You may think, okay, the DJI Mavic Air shoots in 4K, it may have a bigger sensor. Well, actually that is not true, because both drones have exactly the same sensor size, one 2.3-inch sensor. So again, this will be a tie. Still talking about the camera, what about frame rates and, you know, slow-mo? Well, the DJI Mavic Air does Full HD in 120 frames per second, and the Mavic Mini does Full HD in only 60 frames per second. Now, you can use those 60 frames per second in order to make some slow-mo, but it's a little bit superior, of course, the Mavic Air, so we're gonna give a little tiny point to the Mavic Air again. Next point, you won't probably notice too much in YouTube, but the Mavic Air shoots in 100 megabits per second, where the Mavic Mini doesn't. So we're gonna have to give this point again to the Mavic Air. As you see until now, the Mavic Air goes ahead in terms of points, but the next points are pretty interesting and they're gonna go for the Mavic Mini. So take a look at first the size. Of course, when unfolded, there is not much of a difference, but look at the bodies. Chivo, can you see this? When they are folded, there is a difference, and honestly, in a backpack, this is a big difference. So another point for the Mavic Mini. What about the weight? 249 grams, as you know, on the Mavic Mini versus 430 grams. And about laws and regulations, we'll talk in a second, but still, the weight is much less here. So another point for the Mavic Mini. Another important point, what about the price, guys? Come on, it's one of the most important. The price right now of the DJI Mavic Air after the release of the Mavic Mini is, and of course the price of the Mavic Mini right now is. So there's a huge difference, almost double. So this is of course another point for the Mavic Mini. And of course the final point for the Mavic Mini will be laws, regulations and all that, because the Mavic Air has to be, you know, you need a license, you need to, depending on your country, go some places specific and all that. So big point for the Mavic Mini. So summing up, guys, again, it's a tie, as most of this kind of videos, you know that, but it will of course always depend on your final choice. For some people it may be more important to fly in the city, to have less space in their backpack, you know, so they will go and get the Mavic Mini. But if you want a tiny bit more of quality, 4K, 100 megabits per second, you want that slow-mo, a little bit more tech, of course you're gonna go for the Mavic Air. So the choice is yours, guys, and we've given you the most important points right here, so you make the decision. I hope that you liked this video, that it was helpful. If you think that there are more points or you want to know something else that we didn't talk about, let us know in the comments. Hit the like, please, if you thought that this was entertaining. Nothing else to say. Always remember to keep calm and talk UAV.